If you don't mind finding your seat, and again, if you can sit near the center and the front, that would be great. We always sound much better when we are closer together and can hear each other. Just a heads up, if you're going to be here tonight, I'm going to ask you to move up then too, so you might as well, when you come in tonight, just sit close so you don't have to move twice. All right. Thank you so much for sticking around, for being here. Connor and I had this opportunity, I believe, back in January, and it was such a blessing, and I was grateful when we were asked to do it again. However, unfortunately, Connor is out of town this morning. He was not able to be here, so I'm going to turn my back, and if you want to leave class because you know that Connor's not here, you're welcome to exit. I won't see you. I do have spies that are going to tell me who left. All right. Now, we're going to learn a couple new songs this morning. I've got a PowerPoint that hopefully will pop up on the screen here shortly. I've been teaching the college. We have a college-only class in the summer, and myself and Ray and Craig have been teaching the college class. And also, of course, Connor and I teach new songs the first Sunday of the month in the YAT class. And every time I teach, they'll tell you that I usually start with some kind of Bible trivia. I did this a couple weeks ago in the college class and actually had one person groan audibly. I was like, why are you groaning? You get to do Bible trivia. What other class do you start with Bible trivia if you're not in children's ministry? And I was thinking, I wonder if I should do that in the adult class. You know, that's kind of. But I thought, why not? You guys would enjoy a little Bible trivia, right? This is actually hymn trivia. Since we're learning new hymns, new songs, this is a little trivia based on that. So if you want to shout out the answer, if you know the answer, feel free. The first one, just went with the basics. Does anybody know the origin of the word hymn? What language it comes from? Or what it means? Any clues? See, I'm teaching you too. You're gaining knowledge this morning. So the word hymn is actually it comes from the Greek word hymnos, and that word means a song of praise to God. Of course, in the ancient Greek, it might have meant to the gods, plural. But of course, we know that there's one God, and so this means a song of praise to God. But it's a Greek word. What about this? This may be a little easier. Anybody know what is considered to be the most popular hymn of all time? Very good. Amazing Grace. Most well-known song around the world, most well-known hymn around the world, written in 1772 by John Newton. What about this? Does anybody know, this is a lot harder, does anybody know the oldest hymn that we actually sing in here? You do not know it, Bennett. What is it? Amazing Grace. It is not Amazing Grace. I just said Amazing Grace was 1772. There are many songs that were much older than 1772. All right, very good. Got a genius up here. So the song Be Thou My Vision, which we don't sing very often, but we have sung it in here, and we sang it a month or so ago. It is of Irish origin. It was translated into the words that we sing in 1905, but it actually may be as old as the 6th century, the 500s. And so that's one of the oldest songs that we sing in here, Be Thou My Vision. What about this? Who wrote the most hymns? What? I heard it. What y'all say over here? Who? David? Okay, technically David. I guess the most hymns that we sing. Anybody know her name? All right, Fanny Crosby lived from 1820 to 1915. She was an American mission worker, poet, lyricist, composer. She wrote nearly 9,000 hymns and gospel songs. She didn't actually start writing those until she was in her 40s, but she wrote hymns such as Blessed Assurance, To God Be the Glory, Rescue the Perishing, A Wonderful Savior. So a lot of the hymns that we know came from her. And finally, does anybody know what the shortest hymn that we sing is? All right, Doxology. It's considered to be one of the shortest hymns, 4 short lines. The word doxology means a short hymn of praise to God, which is exactly what it is. And that one that we sing, that tune was written in the early 1500s, and the words in 1674. So speaking of hymns, real quick, before we get to our hymns, I want to ask you guys a question that we have been discussing in the worship committee, and that is old hymns versus new songs. All right? I thought about splitting you up, saying everybody that likes the old hymns sit over here, and everybody that likes the new songs sit over here. We just have a little battle and duke it out. I didn't think that'd go over too well. But you probably have an opinion. Some of you prefer the old traditional songbook hymns because of their nostalgia, because of the power of their words, because you've sung them all your life. And then there are some of you that might prefer the newer, more contemporary songs because of their beautiful words, and they're a little bit different than the traditional, 3 verses and a chorus. And I know we have, again, differing opinions on that. And again, we've discussed that in the worship committee. Which should we sing? How often? What's the balance there? I'll be honest, I love both. I told the worship committee in an email, it's kind of like my 2 sons. I love them both equally most of the time. But, how do we decide? And so as with everything, we turn to Scripture to decide. All right, what should we do? All right, here we go. I mean, the words speak for themselves. And some of you are saying, well, those are all Old Testament, Well, here we go. Revelation. Now, I'm joking a little bit. When it says sing to the Lord a new song so often, it doesn't necessarily mean sing a new song. We don't have to sing a new song every time. What that is implying is every time we sing to the Lord, we need to make it new in our heart. Instead of singing it rote and just spewing it out because we've sung it so often, we need to refocus on what we're saying and make it new. And so just because it's an old hymn that we've sung for years, it can be a new song. And that's what that's talking about. It doesn't necessarily mean sing a new song. But that being said, we have learned a lot of new songs in here. Since Connor and I were given the role of worship ministers about a year, these are the new songs that we've taught. And the 3 in yellow we've taught in the YAC class, but we haven't actually taught in here yet. They're on the fence. They're on the bubble. They're coming. And so I realize this is a lot, right? Some of you are thinking that. And so again, in the worship committee, we talked about that. But we agreed it's not about old versus new. It's not about old song versus new song. It's about singing a song of praise to God. It's about the words. It's about the focus. It doesn't matter how old the song is or what year is beside the title. It's about the words that we're singing. And so I want to encourage you just to keep that in mind as we sing these songs and as we learn these songs. Every song was new at one point. Amazing Grace, Doxology, Be Thou My Vision was a new song at one point. It's about focusing on the meaning and singing that to God and saying it to God and thinking of God while you're singing it instead of just doing songs today. One is an older hymn and one is a newer song. So we've got a nice balance this morning. The first one is the hymn, and it's actually in our book. And some of you may know this song. It's called The Rainbow of Love. It's number 287 if you want to look at it. Raise your hand if you have heard this song or you know this song. Okay, a few of you. I led both of these songs in the YAC class the first Sunday in June, and I told them that these songs were coming today. And so they've already heard these. Hopefully they're going to sing out this morning. I will say, when we finished class, one of the YAC members came up to me. I don't know if I should tell this, but I will. He came up to me and said, "Thank you so much for leading a song about rainbows here in the month of June." And I just kind of went, No. But I'm very happy to say that did not even cross my mind when I chose this song. Because to me, and hopefully to you, the rainbow is the original symbol of God's promise and love. And that's what it stands for, and that's what it always will stand for. And so this song, we sing several songs about rainbows. Just a couple weeks ago, we sang, God Put a Rainbow in the Cloud. You probably know the song, There's a rainbow that is shining, blue skies and rainbows, and sunbeams from heaven. It's about seeing that in the clouds. Every time I'm driving and I see the sunbeams from heaven coming through the clouds, I don't know about you, but I immediately think of God. It's that beauty of nature. And when we see a rainbow, hopefully our thought is of God's love and his promise. And that's what this song is talking about. Ezekiel 1:28 said, of course, we know all the scriptures about Noah and the rainbow in Genesis, but Ezekiel 1:28, as the appearance of the rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day, so was the appearance of the surrounding radiance. Such was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. Revelation 10 even speaks of rainbows in the description of the beauty of heaven. And so again, it's all about the beauty, the majesty, the reminder of God's promise and his covenant. And so what we're going to do, we're going to listen to this song as we did last time, and then we're going to try to sing it. But it's a simple hymn. It's got 3 verses. The basses lead the chorus, so you'll hear that. And the tenors and altos have these little duets throughout the verses. All right? So we all start out shining every day, and then the tenors and altos have this little duet all along the way. One thing I told the act class, it's very hard not to sing There's a Rainbow, because that's the other song. This one is There's a Rainbow. It's all the same length note. For those of you that know music, it's all the same. There's no dots up there with There's a Rainbow. So even myself, it's hard for me to do it differently, because you want to say There's a Rainbow, but this is different. This is There's a Rainbow, and you'll hear that when I play it here. All right? So let me play this, and you can listen and see how it goes. I'll just play a couple of verses, and then we'll go back. I'm just going to play this through my phone, and then... I'll pause it. There's a third verse, and we may sing that here in just a second. But it's pretty straightforward. Again, I don't know. We may have sung this in here in the past, but it's been a long time. And I just really like that song. I thought I'd bring it back here. Hopefully, it's pretty easy to pick up. One thing I will point out that is often done wrong that I've heard, the sopranos in the chorus here. The first part is, a rainbow shining with golden lining. Lining goes down. A lot of them want to go, with golden lining, but that's not what it is. It goes down. So keep that in mind, sopranos, when you're singing that chorus there. So I'm going to play it again, the first 2 verses, And if you want to sing along a little softly so that we can still hear it maybe, sing your part, see if you can pick it up, and then we'll try to sing it without the recording. So let's go back to the beginning, and Don, if you can advance this again. And feel free to sing your part. They do sing it pretty fast, so hopefully you can keep up. All right, here we go.
Shining every day along the way, there's a rainbow of perfect love on the land and sea, shines for you and me. There's a rainbow of perfect love. There's a rainbow of love with golden lighting, pointing to it's always pointing heaven above, shining through the clouds together. Every cloud. In stormy weather, there's a rainbow of perfect love. If your heart is sad, you would be made glad. There's a rainbow of perfect love. Follow where it leads, doing golden deeds. There's a rainbow of perfect love. There's a rainbow of love with golden lighting, pointing to it's always pointing heaven above, shining through the clouds together. Every cloud. In stormy weather, there's a rainbow of perfect love.
All right. You got it? Can we do this? All right. So let's try. We're going to sing it. We're going to sing through all three verses. We'll sing it a little bit slower than they did, maybe. And then on the chorus, I'm going to sing with the soprano. So basses, y'all bring it out and lead us during that chorus part. All right. Shining every day along the way, there's a rainbow of perfect love on the land and sea. Shines for you and me. There's a rainbow of perfect love. There's a rainbow shining with golden lighting. It's always pointing to heaven above. The clouds together in stormy weather. There's a rainbow of love. If your heart is sad, there's a rainbow of love. Follow where it leads. There's a rainbow of love. A rainbow shining with golden light. It's always pointing to heaven above. The clouds together in stormy weather. There's a rainbow of love. When we cross a tide, there's a rainbow of love shining on and on. There's a rainbow of love. A rainbow shining with golden lighting. It's always pointing to heaven above. The clouds together in stormy weather. There's a rainbow of love. All right. We got it. Very good. As I mentioned up there, I believe we're going to sing both these songs tonight in our singing night. So hopefully you'll come back tonight and we can sing those. I've got a couple of guys, since Connor's not here, they're going to help me lead tonight. Some excellent song leaders. So please come back and be with us. All right. The second song we're going to sing today is called, I've got it. It's called Exalted. And this is the newer song. And this is a beautiful song. And it's actually set up like a hymn in that it has 3 verses, and they're all the same. And that's pretty much it, with the exception, at the very end, there's a little extra part. There's a word for it, and I can't remember what it's called. Descant, or it's like an extra part, kind of like some of the other songs that we sing at the end on Zion's Glorious Summit. If you remember that song, at the end, there's like a special little verse that we sing. This song kind of has that at the end as well, but it's very short. But this song was written, I had heard this song before, and I'd wanted to lead it, but I did not know anything about the background of this song. And Connor and I, about a month ago or so, were asked to lead at the Southern Hills Church of Christ singing on Friday night. And one of the other leaders that was there got up and led this song, and he talked about its origin and the man who wrote it. His name, you might be able to see up there, tiny, was Matthew Basford. And he was actually, I don't know, are you able to click on that link, Don? You can't click on the link? Okay. But there's a website there that talks about him. But he was a minister at the Jackson Heights Church of Christ in Columbia, and he has a long history. But if you type his name in Google, you can find that pretty quickly. But there's a list of all of these songs that he wrote, and there's dozens of them. And this is probably one of his most well-known hymns. But he was a minister for a long, long time. But fairly recently, the last 5 to 10 years, he developed ALS, and it slowly took away his ability to preach and to write these songs. It took away his ability to walk, and it ultimately, in October of last year, took his life at the age of 45, and he left behind a wife and 2 small children. But if you read about him and what all he did throughout his life to further the gospel and spread the word, it's pretty impressive. And so I encourage you, maybe this afternoon or whatever, to look up Matthew Basford and read more about him. But this song is called Exalted. And real quick before we listen to it, certainly you've heard the word exalted. What does exalted mean? Exalted means elevated in rank. It means held in high esteem, glorified or praised. Look at a couple of scriptures about exalted. Acts 2:33 says, having been exalted to the right hand of God. Of course, right after Jesus' ascension and the day of Pentecost, talking about Christ being exalted to the right hand of God. Philippians 2:9, Paul says, God highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name which is above every name. And so this is a song talking about the elevation, the majesty, the glorification of Jesus Christ. And this is a beautiful song. I was talking with Greg Beatty about this song, and he said this would be a beautiful song to sing before communion. And I agree. And we might eventually sing this before we take communion, because it focuses on Christ. And what's really neat about this song is it focuses on these little paradoxes about Christ. If you look through the words, I'm not working. I can't advance this. Can you advance it? There we go. Known before the world, seen in future days, named an ageless king. And then, like I said, these paradoxes: seen with blinded eyes, heard, mocked by all the wise. And so again, it's these little paradoxes that are all true about Christ and what he did while here on earth. And again, it's this beautiful song. I'll have you focus on, again, for those of you that know music, all those little letters above the staff, the MP and the MF and the P, and those refer to the volume of the song. And so if you see a P, it means soft, sing softer. If you see an F, it means sing louder. And so I want us to try to do that. And you'll hear that in the recording as well. And then, like I said, at the end of the third, it's all the same. And then at the end of the third verse, instead of saying exalted, like they do on the other two verses, they sing this little extra part. It's kind of a beautiful, exalted song. So it's a little bit, and it's loud. You see the F there at the top. It's loud. But it's a beautiful way to end the song, and you'll hear that as I play the recording. So let's listen to this. And Don, if you'll click through it. And again, focus on the words as you learn it as well.
Known before the seen in future days, righteous and Son of God, sent as David's ageless kings in all the earth, exalted, seen with blinded worshipped with content, thorns on a cross, exalted, scorned by those who walked with his easy Son of God, born to take my death. Jesus, Son of God, exalted,
All right. Isn't that a pretty song? And I just think it's so neat, especially I saw another one at the end there, born to take my death. So he was born to take my death. All right, so let's listen to it again. Obviously, it's kind of a question, or not a question and answer, but an echo song. So the ladies start and the guys kind of echo, and we go back and forth, and they come together at the end of each verse. And so I'm going to play it again from the beginning, and this time, if you can, sing along. And then we'll try to sing it without the music. So feel free to sing your part. And again, watch the softness and the loudness. You can hear that in here. It starts out really soft, and then it kind of gets louder as the verse goes on. All right, here we go. Feel free to sing along.
Known before the seen in future days, righteous and Son of God, sent as David's ageless kings in all the earth, exalted, seen with blinded eyes, Jesus, Son of God, worshipped with content, thorns on a cross, exalted, scorned by those who walked with his easy Son of God, born to take my death. Jesus, Son of God,
All right. Let's listen to that last part one more time because it's It's definitely a little different. See if you can hear your part. Oop. And again, that's sung really loud as we end the song. All right. Let's go back to the beginning, and we'll try to sing this through. Very, very good. Love that song. So we'll sing that tonight. One other song that I want to just sing here at the end that we're also going to sing tonight is a newer one that I believe Connor did last time we had this class. And we've sung it a couple times in here, but I was just listening to it yesterday, and it's such a beautiful song. And so we're going to sing it tonight too. And that is Goodness of God. And so I just want us to learn that one better as well. And so since we have a little time, let's go through that one and sing it. I don't know if we need to listen to it. I don't think so. Hopefully not. But and I've never led this, so this will help me to lead it as well, to get to know it better. But sing out. And again, basses, sing out your part. This is a beautiful, beautiful song. All right. Thank you so much for singing that. And again, we'll sing those 3 tonight, and we'll sing many others. I'll just go ahead and tell you. Darren Griffin and then our intern this summer, Dawson McFarland, are going to be leading songs tonight along with me. So I hope that you'll come back and we can all worship together. Again, thank you for singing out. Thank you for listening and hopefully learning a little bit this morning. And I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.